Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I want to show you how to do the magic granny square in rows. So this will be the magic granny stripes project. A little while ago I made a granny square. I'm going to show it to you. It looks like this, where I have these, it's a regular granny square. I just for every third row made this little magic happen. And I was thinking about, can this be done in rows? First of all, what would it look like in rows? But also, if you make a granny square, you don't have to decide on the size in the very beginning. You're just working your way out, and you can stop whenever you feel like it. But if you want to have the height and the width in a different size, so not the same size, it's more difficult. So I wanted to try it in a row. It looks like this. I think it turned out pretty well. I do like the granny square version, but I actually do like this one as well. Can really see it work as a big blanket. Yeah, let me explain the pattern and the color choices first. So we can discuss the pattern as we go, because there are some things you need to keep in mind. But again, it's pretty straightforward. If you know how to do granny stripes, this will be very easy for you. We're going to do 2 rows of granny squares, so clusters of 3 double crochets, as we do with granny squares and granny stripes. And then on the 3rd row, every time we're going to do this little magic thing. I chose to make this one very colorful because I wanted it to look like the other one I made, so I could kind of compare it and you could see the difference. But of course you don't have to do all these colors if you don't want to. You can do, I have one here that we'll get back to later because I want to show you something. I only did this one in 2 colors. So you can see I have a main color that is also the background. And then I did the magic in this darker version of the same color. But we'll get back to this one because I need to explain a few things to you on this one. I think we should just get started because everything will make a lot more sense when I talk about it in the video and show it at the same time. So the first thing you need to do is you need to consider what kind of color you want for your, let's call it foundation row. So it's a foundation chain with single crochets. So for this one, I did it the first color in the same color as I did my magic. But for this one, I just choose to do it the same color as I did my first row. So that is really up to you. You can do it in a 3rd color. That doesn't really matter. I think for the purpose of this video, I will do every row in a different color because it makes it a lot easier to see. So we're going to start with a foundation chain. So just put a slip knot on your hook. You're going to pick a number that is a multiple of 8 plus 4. Otherwise, the pattern won't really work. And I think the minimum you can have is 16 plus 4. But I think I'll do 24 for this video plus 4. So let's just get started on the foundation chain. So 2, 3, 4, 5. So this was 28 chains. As you can see, I have them all here. So I did 24 plus 4. So we're not going to use the first chain that we did. So of course not the loop on your hook, but this one sitting down here. I like to turn my foundation chain over and work in these little bumps or little pearls on the back side. So in the first one, we're just going to go in and put in a single crochet. And same for the next one. Of course, you can do that any way you like. If you like to use the chains on the front, you can of course go ahead and do that. So just do that all the way along your chain. So now I only have 1 chain left. I'm just going to put in my last single crochet, and the number of single crochets should be 1 less than what you chained. So I chained 28 and I now have 27 single crochets. You can of course continue with the same color if you want to, but I am going to fasten off because I really want to show you with a different color for each row, because it makes it so much easier for you to see what I'm doing. So I have turned my work and I have attached my new yarn color, and again we're going to do 1 double crochet as our first stitch, So you can go ahead and chain 3. I like to do 2 stacked single crochets like that. And then we're going to chain 1. So if you're doing a chain 3 in the beginning, you do a chain 4. Then we're going to skip 3 single crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and then over here, just we're going to yarn over and go into that single crochet. And we're going to put in a double crochet. Well, we're going to put in 3 double crochets in total. Like that. I'm going to chain 1, skip 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, and then into the 4th, yarning over, go in and put 3 double crochets, chain 1, skip 3 stitches, and so on. So I have my last cluster of 3 double crochets, and you should have 2 single crochets left. And you're going to chain 1, yarn over, and then go into the last single crochet and put in a double crochet. And again, if you know how to do the granny stripes, you will recognize that this is the same way of doing it. We now have 2, 4, 6 clusters of double crochets. And that is kind of important that you have an even number on your first row. If you followed my instructions about a multiple of 8 plus 4, you should have an even amount of clusters, because then on the next row we're going to get an odd number of clusters, and that is what we need for the magic to work. We're just going to continue, you know what, let's just continue in this color. So just chain 3 and turn your work. If you do it that way, I'm just going to go in. We're working in the same stitch as we ended in, so I'm just going to go in and do my 2 stacked single crochets. So you'll have a chain 3 here, and then we're going to yarn over and go into the chain space and put 2 double crochets. So this will be our first cluster, but I think it looks the best. The sides get more becomes more even when you work your first stitch out here. And then we're just going to chain 1, skip those 3 stitches, go over to the chain space and put in 3 single crochets, chain 1, go into the next chain space, add 3 double crochets, chain 1, and so on. And now I'm at the end. I have 1 space left, and in there I'm going to put 2 double crochets, and then I'm going to use my top stitch out here that I did the row below for my last DC. So if you have a chain 4 here, you can do 2 double crochets and then place the last one in your 3rd chain. I think that again makes your borders or your sides look a lot better. So 2 in the chain space and then the 3rd one out here. And since I didn't change colors between the rows, and we can continue in this one when we go back to doing clusters again, I'm going to show you something really cool we can do if you're planning to do this in only 2 colors. Pull up your loop, make it pretty big. You might even want to secure it with a stitch marker or something like that. Going to let it sit here because we can actually pick it up later, so we don't have all these ends to weave in. I'm going to bring back my purple color because I think I want to do it in that one. And we're not going to turn our work. We're just going to go over to the right side. I'm just going to attach my yarn. So we're going over to this right side over here. And over here you have 3 top stitches. And then the one out here, so the first one, you're going to attach your new yarn color. Do that any way you like. And the first stitch is going to be a single crochet. So I'm just doing it like that. Then in the next 2 top stitches, we're also going to put in single crochets. 1 and 2. So now you have 3 single crochets. Then we're going to work the magic over this stitch. We're going from up here and down here and grabbing this double crochet here. Let me show you. So it's a triple front post. So we're going to yarn over 2 times, take our hook and go down from front into the back, come up at the front on the other side, yarn over, come up. You now have 4 loops on your hook, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, and yarn over and go through 2. And now you have this yarn sitting here in the middle, but behind it you have your cluster of 3 double crochets sitting here. So just going to go into the first top stitch and put in a single crochet, and that will make sure everything gets in place. And in the next 2 top stitches you're also going to put in single crochets like that. And so now everything is back where it's supposed to be. Then we're going to do one that comes from up here and down and grabbing this double crochet down here. So again, it's a treble front post, so yarn over 2 times to make a treble, come in from this side towards the center, grab the yarn, come up, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, and yarn over and go through 2. And now we're going to go into the next cluster, and in here we're going to put 1 single crochet in each top stitch. And we're going to repeat that all the way across. But let me show it one more time. So you have a cluster, a blank cluster, you have your X, and you have a blank cluster. So for the next cluster, we're also going to do an X. So again, from up here, down and grabbing this double crochet down here. So yarn over 2 times, go down, grab your yarn, go around, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, and yarn over and go through 2. And again, find your first top stitch behind and work a single crochet and a single crochet and a single crochet. And again, yarn over 2 times. We're going to work this one down here to create the X. Come in from right to left, come up, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2, and yarn over and go through 2. And then again, another cluster with single crochets in the top stitches. And that is how the pattern goes. I'll work my way over to the end and show you how the round ends. So I'm over at the end. I just put in my first single crochet. I'm going to put in my second single crochet. And here comes the cool thing with the color change. So we're going back on the green yarn for the next 2 rows. So go into your last single crochet, pull the yarn through. You have 2 loops on your hook. Pull on your green loop, the green yarn, and put the loop over your hook like that. So now you have 2 purple and a green. Let go of the purple, grab the green, and take the green color and pull it through the 2 purple. And my yarn is splitting a little bit. And pull the green through the 2 purple loops like that. So now we've done a color change. We're on the green one now, and we don't have any ends that we need to weave in. One thing I will say is that it might crumble a little bit. You might think, okay, this will never be really flat, but I promise you, if it's wider, it's of course also, it will get more flat faster. And also the more rows you add, the more it will lay down flat, because these X's do create a little bit of tension between the rows, but it will work out when you add more rows to it. And since we now have the right color, we're just going to turn our work. Now we're working on the back side, and we're we're going to repeat the 2 green rows. So we're going to start, we can start with chain 3 if you want to. I'm going to do my stack stitches. And we're going to do that in the first single crochet. So you can chain 3. And then we're going to chain 1, so chain 4 actually. And we're going to skip the 2 first single crochets and go over. And you can see we're now going to work in the top stitches of our trebles from the other side. So do your counting, but you can also kind of see that they're sitting there. And in there we're going to put in, we're going to put in 3 double crochets. So just a repeat of the row, the first row that we did of clusters. So that was 3. Again, chain 1, skip 3 single crochets and work your way over to this one and put in 3 double crochets. So I'm at the end here. I have 3 top stitches from the single crochets left. I'm going to chain 1, and in the very last one I am going to put in 1 double crochet. I need to mention one thing though. Since we let go of the purple one, over here I have fastened off and secured it because we can't really bring it up with us, because we're not going to start on this side when we are bringing back the purple one. So no, you can't really do that, but you can still do that with the main color, and I think that is a big plus for this one. I'm going to start the next row, so chain 3. I'm just going to, and turn your work, I'm just going to put in my 2 stack stitches, and this one is going to be worked like the second row. So in the chain space, put in 2 double crochets. So we have our first double crochet cluster, and this one is really easy. Chain 1, move into the next chain space, put in 3 double crochets, and repeat all the way. So I'm almost at the end. I'm just going to, well, I already chained 1. I have my chain space left over here, so I'm going to put in 2 double crochets and then the last double crochet on the edge, so that would be in your chain 3. I'm just going to slip stitch in here, and since we did 2 rows of granny squares, we're now ready for a magic row. So I'm bringing back my purple one, and again, I don't have to fasten off my green color. I can just let it sit over here. We're going to talk about one more thing before I let you go. The cool thing about let me bring back the granny square sample. One of the cool things about that is the way that the X is, moving in that direction all the time. So they're not on top of each other. I don't know if you can see that. They're not on top of each other. You don't have any one down here. It's every other one, and it makes a really cool effect. And the reason why it does it is because we're adding granny square clusters to each round, because we're working in rounds. So the project gets bigger and bigger when we move out. So it will naturally do that. But that is not the case for this one, because we're not changing the number of clusters that we have. So if we repeat what we did down here, you would get your excess or your magic on top of each other. As you can see, I have this pink one that I did, and as you can see, they're actually sitting on top of each other because I just repeated what I did down here. But we can do something about that, and as you can see with this sample, I actually did do something about it. So again, we don't have them on top of each other. They actually do create the same effect as for the granny square. And we're going to do that by, well, first of all, bringing in our secondary color. So I'm bringing back my purple one. And again, we're not turning the work. We're just starting over here to your right, going into the first top stitch and creating a single crochet. like that, and we're going to do that 2 more times. And then we would start working on our X. But we're not going to start our magic or our X at this point. We're just going to put in a single crochet in the chain space. So 1, and then in the 3 top stitches up here, we're also just going to add a single crochet. And then we can start working on our X over this one. So we're going to go down and grab this one. So yarn over 2 times, go behind, grab the yarn and come up. Find your cluster sitting a little bit behind here, putting in 3 single crochets, 2 and 3. Yarn over 2 times, go down and find your double crochet down here and go around and put in your treble, and then back up and continue with your single crochets. And that is how we can avoid the X's sitting on top of each other. So the first time you do X's, you do 3 single crochets before you start your X, and up here you do 3 single, 1 in the chain space and 3 more, and then you start your X. So you can see that they are now not sitting on top of each other. And again, you're just going to continue. So whenever you have an X, you're just doing single crochets, and when you don't have an X, you do your X. That is how you can remember this. And again, remember you have your primary color sitting out here waiting for you, so you don't have to do all the color changes all the time. I think that was it for today. I am very pleased about this project, and I think it would make a great blanket. I am actually considering doing one, but I also have my granny square, and I kind of want to turn that into a pillowcase, so I have to find the time to do that as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.